Day 2 of the George Zimmerman murder trial, a day charged with anger and grief as jurors saw some shocking images from the crime scene and the hoodie Trayvon Martin was wearing the night he died. ABC's Matt Gutman has the story.
In a moment packed with drama, prosecutors presented to jurors Trayvon Martin's blood-stained hoodie, sealed in plastic.
You recognize that?
Yes, it is.
Asking a crime scene technician to detail the everyday items she found around the 17-year-old's body.
Package of Skittles.
Evidence meant to humanize a teenager prosecutors say had gone out for a snack when he was shot and killed by George Zimmerman, a neighborhood watchman, in February 2012.
Is that how Trayvon Martin's body appeared when the yellow medical blanket was removed?
Yes, that is correct.
At times, the testimony too hard for Martin's mother to bear. She walked out when images were displayed of her son's body, too gruesome to show here. The officer, who'd arrived barely 2 minutes after the shooting, telling jurors he tried but couldn't revive the teen.
And did you consider this to be an extraordinary circumstance?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. And is that why you put your mouth on Trayvon Martin's mouth to try to breathe for him?
Yes, sir.
Zimmerman has pleaded not guilty. He says he fired in self-defense during a scuffle as Martin pounded his head into the sidewalk.
The truth, the whole truth.
Salim Bahadur, Zimmerman's neighbor, testifies she heard the scuffle along with what sounded like running. Then the gunshot.
Could you tell the body was face up or face down?
I remember it being face down.
But in a moment of courtroom theatrics, defense attorney Mark O'Mara suggesting Bahadur had changed her initial story out of sympathy for Martin, confronting her with her own Facebook page.
Tell me what that says on your Facebook front page right there. Just read that.
Prosecute the killer of our son, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Sign the petition.
Later this morning, jurors will most likely hear from other neighbors who, like Bahadur, say they also heard Martin and Zimmerman tussling that night, but didn't intervene. And we're expecting two other major developments this morning, George. One, will the judge allow the jury to hear those repeated calls by George Zimmerman to police about strangers in his neighborhood? And will a key witness, the last person to speak with Trayvon Martin, testify? She may say how frightened he was in those final moments. George.
Okay, thanks very much, Matt. Let's get more on this now from our Chief Legal Affairs anchor, Dan Abrams. And Dan, that prosecution witness, Salim Bahadur, roughed up a bit by the defense.
And she's crucial because she's the first eyewitness to testify in this case, and she's saying two important things. Number one, she says that someone was running, and number two, she described the direction that the running was occurring. Why is that important? Because it would suggest that this running, this chasing, was occurring in an area that George Zimmerman says he never was. And B, if they were running at all, that's also helpful to the prosecution's case, because the prosecution's theory is that Trayvon Martin was effectively hunted down. Now, that's why that cross-examination was so important. The defense attorney's saying, A, you're biased, and B, you've never said this before about the direction that they were running. Why is this the first time you're ever mentioning that? So very important point in the courtroom.
And there's going to be a lot of focus on Zimmerman's past contact with the police department. The judge still hasn't decided what to do with the tapes, but we did hear from Wendy Dorival, who's in charge of the volunteer programs for the department.
That's right. You hear from this woman who's in charge saying it was a very important program, that George Zimmerman was almost meek but very eager to help in a very positive way. And then on the other hand, you heard from the head of the Homeowners Association who says he didn't think that they even needed it. So two different stories about the significance of that Homeowners Association.
A lot for the jurors to sort through. Dan, thanks very much.